All right, after two rather lackluster and just god-awful boring filler episodes, Doom Patrol kinda makes a comeback. This was Hair Patrol, referring to Beard Hunter. Now, I mean, sometimes I enjoy the surrealism of Doom Patrol and all that, and it's the strengths of the show, but some of it is just stupid, but it kind of works here. So we got this new character who is this complete loser who lives with his mother, and he's I don't know, well in his 30s, I suppose. Anyway, but he's obsessed with beards, and he's not just obsessed with them. Apparently, he receives a certain power from them because he eats beards, and by beards I mean facial hair, not. Yeah, you know. He gets some sort of high from it, and also he has a power that he can absorb the knowledge and can track down anyone whose beard he has consumed. So he is contacted by the Bureau of Normalcy. Yeah, come on. So they want to find Niles Calder. And that we get an interesting thing. We get more details of Niles Calder. We see his past. And yeah, he's really old. Somehow he's managed to live a very long time, because this takes place over 100 years ago, where he was working for the Bureau or Department of Oddities. See, it changed. And they wanted to explore the weird, obviously paranormal aspects on Earth, and that's what he's doing. And then he and his guide, they're out in the wooded area in the cold, and they get attacked by a pack of wolves, while Niles Calder gets ambushed by them while he's trying to take a dump. And his friend shoots the wolf, and then I told you not to wander off, and then he gets mauled by a bunch of them. And Niles, oh my god, he runs away like a coward, and then trips and falls and breaks his leg, and then he's kind of passing out, and he looks, and this creature approaches him. Some hairy creature with antlers and looks like a wolf's head. I don't know. And next thing he knows, he wakes up in a cave, and there's some crazy wild woman in there. And slowly but surely, and then there's other bodies in there, whatever that's about. And he's with this woman, and she's like a cave woman, and she's got a beard. So the theme of the show is beards. And slowly but surely, Niles falls in love with her, and they get it on. Yeah. And yeah, she has back hair. But he's like, you are amazing. And apparently the creature that brought him there is, I guess, maybe perhaps some sort of deity. I don't know. They have a funeral for the dead bodies that are found in the cave, and they cremate them and all that. But he decides he's going to stay with her, and this is a new life for him, and he's learning something new and all this stuff. And the woman apparently is immortal and has been there since the Stone Age. And there's all these, cave drawings or pictograms on different stones, and it tells her story and all that. And you're like, oh my God, she's, perhaps 1 million years old. Who knows? And so perhaps that's a key to how he discovered the secrets of immortality, or at least to be able to extend his life. And then turns out his guide didn't die. He shows up and finds him. He says, man, I didn't even realize you were still alive and all that. And he's all impressed that he survived. But, of course, he survived because the cave woman taught him how. And the hunter is looking for the cave woman because he says there's been a war, which was World War I. And now they've decided to squash the Department of Oddities and change it to the Department of Normalcy or Bureau of Normalcy, whatever. And their goal is not to explore or learn about oddities in the world. Their goal is to wipe the oddities out. So he wants to find this cave woman who, is obviously very old. Rather than try to learn her secret of long life or whatever, he's there to kill her. So Niles has to kill the hunter, which he does. He lures him over the ice, and the hunter falls through the ice and drowns and freezes to death and all that. So it turns out the reason we were seeing all this was because Mr. Nobody was studying and trying to find Niles his secret, and he discovers that the heart of his ambition is to protect this immortal woman. So now Mr. Nobody wants to find the girl, if for no other reason than it's out of spite for his hatred of Niles. So there you go. Meanwhile, back at Doom Patrol, we learn that this story takes place at the same time as the last episode where Robot Man went into the mind of Jane. So while they're doing that, Cyborg and Rita have to deal with Beard Hunter, who breaks into the mansion and finds Niles Calder's beard hair in the sink, and yes, he consumes it. And they capture him, and they talk to him, and then he gets a follicle of chin hair from the Cyborg and consumes it, and learns how the psychological problems for Cyborg, and that he's not all the solid superhero that the appearance he's putting on. And so Cyborg breaks down, loses control of his cybernetic armor, if you will, and his super cannon goes off and starts blowing up the house and everything. And then Beard Hunter manages to escape, but not before Rita was able to put a transmitter bug on him. And then all of a sudden we see him going into a very surreal looking set of stairs. And I thought, golly, he says he can track anyone anywhere, even if they're in some other dimension, which is where Niles appears to be with Mr. Nobody. And so I thought, God, he's found some entryway to it. I don't know, but the stairs are almost like what is that, MC Escher looking thing. And he goes along, and then suddenly it looks like he found Niles sitting in a wheelchair, but then it's like a paper mache model of Niles, very creepy looking. And then people behind Beard Hunter come after him and attack him, and that's it for Beard Hunter. So I guess the transmitter will lead Rita and Cyborg where they need to go. And Robot Man and Jane are awake at the end, of course, so I guess they'll go there looking for Niles. And Beard Hunter warns them that Niles is not the man you think he is, which I think refers to the comic book plot revelation that Niles, in his fascination and obsession with oddities in the world, manipulated the origin scenarios of each member of the Doom Patrol in order for them to gain the powers they have, despite the horrific results of that for each of them. So I guess at some point they'll write it in that he had something to do with Cyborg's accident that led to him becoming Cyborg, which also resulted in the death of his mother. But I don't know, because that really would be rewriting the story. But Cyborg's story has been rewritten in New 52, where Darkseid and the Mother Box led to his creation, and although originally it didn't. But basically, yeah, he was a football star who had some terrible accident, and now he's a cyborg. So I guess good enough. I don't know. But now in this version, probably Niles had something to do with it. So they're all going to really hate Niles, despite after spending all this time trying to find him. But there's still this thing about one of the ginormous plot holes in Doom Patrol is how they're all just sitting there in this house for decades. And they're hung up on the same thing. And it's like, like Larry Trainer still hung up on his old boyfriend. And that's 60 years ago. And it's like, what? And now, just now, they're starting to do something. It would make more sense if they were frozen or something, I mean, it's a problem. So there you go. Doom Patrol. This one was a comeback from the others. It wasn't a filler episode. You explored new things. You learned some things about Niles. So that's better. You need to do more of that. And if the filler episodes are a necessity, you need to fix the situation where they're not a necessity and shave off the amount of episodes. You don't need to do 15 episodes. You could do 10, which maybe that business of the Swamp Thing is for the better. Hopefully doesn't mean this is all over. But 10 episodes is probably the max for these things to keep the story tight. But anyway, there you go. This one, I'll give it 4 stars. 4 stars. But Doom Patrol, those filler episodes really wounded the series. So, need to just shave that off. Shave your beards. That way Beard Hunter can't get you. All right, and I should have got a sponsor for this episode from, I don't know. Well, for knowing them, it would probably be Gillette. So never mind, skip that. Thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, thank you for watching anyway. And for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And while you're here, check out that link description below. That'll lead you to my podcast from RadioMisfits.com and to the links to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you.